Monday afternoon Advocate News Meeting. I'm editor and publisher Chris Cobbler. With me as always to my left.
And Becky Cooper, managing editor.
And to my right.
Tony Melandrin, city editor.
And behind the camera.
Thomas Martinez, digital editor.
So let us know what you think of the stories we're working on, suggestions you have for stories we should be working on. Well, that's why we come on every weekday to hear from you, to get you warmed up. We'll ask a trivia question. Listen to the police scanner out the side of my ear here.
Just the side of your ear?
The whole left side of my ear, but I can't really hear it on the right side of my ear because the scanner's over there. What superhero did British actor Benedict Cumberbatch of the BBC's Sherlock fame play in a 2016 film?
Dr. Strangelove or something. Dr. Strange. He was in the Avengers.
Yeah, he was an Avengers. He was Doctor. Was it Strangelove?
Strange or something.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't see that movie, but I believe you are correct, sir. You have a guess, Tony?
No.
All right.
No,
We'll look at the end of the show. We'll tell you for sure.
But he played the bad guy in one of the Star Trek movies. I think that made his name over in this country.
Did you play Khan? No, that was Ricardo Montalban, and then he played some other bad guy.
Yeah, this was
Aaron, Tanya. You know the answer to that one? Benedict Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange. Was it a good movie? Did you see it?
I tried to watch the Sherlock Holmes series.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. But their accents were really strong.
I like Sherlock Holmes when Jim Hudson played him. That's a long time ago. Timothy Hudson's father played him.
That was
Ellery Queen. That was Ellery Queen. Sorry. That was Ellery Queen. You're right. Sherlock Holmes. I don't think I've liked any Sherlock Holmes movie. I just like the books.
No, there was a movie called Murder by Decree with James Mason played Dr. Watson and Christopher Plummer played Sherlock Holmes. And basically it was the search for the Whitechapel murders, Jack the Ripper, and the movie was trying to implicate the royal family at the time. That the reason why Jack the Ripper was working on behalf of the royal family to silence all the prostitutes because one of the royal family members had a child.
Okay.
That
was a movie.
Target the specific prostitute.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Sherlock Holmes. We'll give you the answer in a minute. And this is another trivia question I don't know the answer to, so I don't think anybody will know. Not that but it is a newspaper kind of question. Name the former Washington Post journalist who founded Vox.com, an explanatory news site, in 2014. So a former Washington Post journalist.
It wasn't Janet Cook.
and it wasn't
Woodward and Bernstein.
Woodward and Bernstein. Neither one of them. So, all right, we'll come back. Let's get to the news, Becky. We got a fun feature
We have
planned for
a
the front
fun
page.
feature on the Texas Zoo Trivia Night that's held once a month at Aerocrafters. And this past week was tortoises. They were going to do trivia on tortoises. So we have a fun feature on that. With
So our intern, Jenna Weaver, has written that. It's her first story for the Advocate. We're excited for her to have her byline on the front page tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Evan went out and took a new photo of the tortoise, whose name is Monster.
Good.
So.
And he's coming out of his shell for us?
Yeah.
All right.
This story was slowly written, though, right?
Slow and steady.
But it's written.
It's written. May deadline. And the rabbit out there is still working on a story. He's taking a nap right now, and he thinks he's gonna race to the finish line and get it done. Well, we also have in more news here.
We have Huntsville School Board meeting tonight. It's
There.
a regular monthly meeting. The public is expected to be there. Members of the public is expected to attend to voice their concerns about the two coaches and the principal who are allowed to continue teaching even though they're under indictment.
We called Hondo today yet? Yeah, she just got it.
She just came in.
I'd like to check with her. The Hondo Police Department investigation is ongoing as well. 6 o'clock, the school board
I
meeting.
believe it's 6 o'clock. I need to ask her. I don't know if she even has an
Well, let's
agenda.
check with her after this on the Hondo news. All
And
right.
then we have the mental health story. Callie went to a mental health program last Thursday at one of the churches. which are trying to reach younger kids who may have mental health issues. And this will serve as an advance for the next one, which is this Thursday at, what's it called, Liberty Coffee House.
Oh, Liberty.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there'll be
Great
more
place.
people telling their stories.
Good.
And then we have a story about a car that hit or ran into the Church's Fried Chicken in Edna this morning.
Oh, you skipped over the commissioners meeting.
See, it's not showing up on
It's not there?
Oh, here it is. Commissioners approved ending the current contract that the jail has with UTMB to bring operations in-house.
Yours is not updating for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to use a local psychiatrist, a woman, but there were some questions about that Morgan's trying to get answered. Is how will there be enough psychiatrists locally where there already is a shortage? So how will that work when she's off work or the weekend? And how will that help just with the shortage of psychiatrists in general in Victoria?
Now, psychiatrists or psychologists?
The
Doctors.
psychiatrist can prescribe medication.
Right,
Yeah.
and right, correct.
Yeah, and that
but-
she's a psychiatrist. As I
and,
understand
I mean,
it.
they're medically trained.
Yes, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
But psychologists can. They can
They're only counselors. They can't prescribe it.
They can't prescribe.
Not without a doctor.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
doctors.
Yeah.
Psychiatrists are doctors.
I think the reason there's so few psychiatrists all over is that you have to go through the whole medical school, and then as a specialty goes, it's not the way to make the most money. If you're going to go that far into a specialty, you'd make a lot more money being a cardiac surgeon or something, for example. But anyway, but important work. So
Very important work.
then the churches, somebody vehicle hit churches.
A man apparently hit the gas instead of the brake or something at churches in Edna. We have a photographer who went over there, and John was trying to get the information.
Okay.
So, but it said nobody was injured. The building was
Oh.
still usable.
We do need to put on there, Tony. We need to check on the update on the Woodsboro accidental shooting. If we got any more information on that today, and we also need to check. We typed that in on any arrest or search warrant affidavit on the accidental shooting here in Victoria.
They sent over a news release. That's not on here either.
Yeah.
Sent over a news release during the noon hour identifying the shooter and saying that he's been
The one we
charged
had
with
the
manslaughter. Yeah.
Paper today, but
Yeah.
why? If it was accidental, why is he charged with
Yeah,
manslaughter?
yeah.
That's
That's what we're
why I
trying.
want
We need to get the paperwork.
get the
on.
paperwork to understand that. And his uncle or what was it? The cousin in the paper today said that they're very close. And so yeah, there got to be some elements to manslaughter to make it a charge that way.
Right.
Okay. All right. Where else are we?
Or your schools?
Your
also?
schools,
Okay.
yeah. We have the healthy aging pages in the paper
What
tomorrow.
pages are those?
A4 and 5.
Okay.
Which is on the budget too. Yours is not updated, by the way. 'Cause it's
So
on there.
seeking,
mine's blank.
seeking the
Yeah.
I don't know why.
arrest warrant
Maybe you
affidavit.
get out of there and re-get it.
I redid it.
You did?
Yeah, the arrest warrant, search warrant affidavit on the shooting, and then just update on the Woodsboro girl, and see how she's doing. So two different things.
So
the-
the healthy
your schools?
aging. Oh,
I
okay.
put
Your
them
schools is.
Inside.
We went
Yeah,
to
that's
a Victoria school that had a wax museum program where kids dressed
Wax
up.
museum.
Yeah, they dressed up like.
They dressed up like their wax figures.
Yeah.
All right.
So Chamberlain shot that, and she hopefully wrote the copy block. I haven't
Alright,
looked.
I think the first WAC museum I went to was in the Colorado Springs area.
Uh-huh.
Freaked me out, man. It
Was
was
that
it
the
was
Hall of
immersive.
Presidents?
Yes,
Yes, I went there. I've been there.
yes.
That was cool.
I went to
Was
wax
that
museum
Manatee
with-
Springs or Colorado? It might have been Manatee Springs. I don't
in
recall.
Washington D.C.
It was freaky though.
It could be
man.
Manatee.
It was just freaky.
They
Manatee's a
also
tourist
put.
town.
There was I remember what freaked me out about that is that they had a wax figure that looked like an old man pointing to, like he was just like on the ropes looking at something, and you didn't know he was a wax figure until you like went right up to him, and I just thought, oh hell, this is part of the
We're
display.
easily fooled back in the old days. Now,
Well, I mean, his back, the way you walk through it, his back was toward the approaching foot traffic. So I just thought, I was, waiting for him to get the hell out of the way,
Did you push him?
No. But when I realized it was wax, it kind of like jolted me, like, wow.
Just
right here.
little match around him.
Yeah, so
One big candle.
I just pushed him over onto the rope, and the rope came down. And I said my brother did it.
I've never been to a
The
wax
dragon
museum.
from Game of Thrones could take out the whole wax museum really easily.
With one breathe, one breath.
That was quite an episode last night. Nobody here watched it except me.
No, tell us
Oh, the kid died again.
Did the
Again?
kid die again?
Third time in a row.
Was he pushed out of the window?
Same kid?
This time the dragon slayed him.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I don't care. Spoil away.
Alright.
I don't mind.
So other
Other
than your
people are
schools,
sensitive about that.
We have the healthy aging pages, in which we'll have a map of the vendors, bios on the 3 speakers, and we'll have a press release from citizens and an if you go box.
alright. Good. Good. And what's in sports? Following up, should have a good second day story on the Trailblazers. Sorry, Tom, pulling it off.
Is that the buzzer
Neither team
beater?
could hit 3-pointers. I'll say
Oh
that's
man, the
something else.
Nuggets blew it.
Yeah,
The
they
funny
had a
thing
lead.
is they built that big lead,
Yeah,
not shooting the 3.
yeah,
They were driving, getting good close shots,
yeah.
and then they started shooting 3s and just
Missing them right and left.
unbelievable.
And
But it was a
then
good series.
the Spurs are really missing Leonard right about now.
That was a lucky shot.
That was
There's
crazy.
nothing about that shot that was good. It was lucky.
Well, the good part was he shot it high. That allowed it to bounce. Yeah, it was lucky. Joel Embiid had him pretty well guarded, too. He was falling out of bounds and dropped it in there. I didn't see the game. I just saw that.
Yeah, it
highlight.
was a hard. It was a dagger to Spurs fans though to see.
Yeah, I mean he had
He's a former
he had the
Spurs.
third he had the
Held out,
third
basically.
highest series total points scored in NBA history to Michael Jordan and
LeBron.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I believe.
Wow.
So I mean, and ahead of and LeBron was like 4th, and he passed. So yeah, the Spurs just couldn't re-sign him. Was that what happened? Basically, I forget.
I don't think he wanted to be in San Antonio.
Yeah, it was a deal where he was hurt and the Spurs said, "No, you're not." And he goes, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, I
disintegrated.
remember
after
that.
But he really wants to go to Los Angeles, his hometown. So
And play with LeBron. No,
Clippers.
the Clippers. I don't know.
He wants to be the guy, not.
I see.
I think at this point, LeBron James would probably say, "I don't want to be the guy. You can be the guy."
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, I thought I read a headline saying LeBron was recruiting him, trying to get him. I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an all-world talent.
Yeah. He's something. Where did he play college ball? Probably 1 year or something.
Man.
Because I was interested in the Trailblazers star C.J. McCollum played at Lehigh.
Yeah.
Like what? Lehigh. He's the only guy ever drafted out of Lehigh. He said
Where's Lehigh?
Pennsylvania, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, that's a difference between like football and basketball, where
Yeah.
there's so many Division I schools in basketball. I think that because there are only 5
Right.
main guys that play, that you could have one good player
Right.
make it from a Lehigh, for example.
Yeah, I read a little bit about him because I was just curious. When I read it, it's from Lehigh, and it said that basically he went in. It was one of those guys that had a late growth spurt, so he was way too short for a long time for any major college to notice him, and then he grew, and just a late bloomer, I guess.
Well,
Not
it's
that-
worked to his advantage.
Yeah. But yeah, Spurs missing Leonard right now.
That was a shot of.
The way it.
It was like
How do you get that
everybody's like,
It was the last buzzer beater that just high shot from the corner, and he's falling out of bounds because he's guarded by a 7-footer, so he's really thrown it up high over this guy. I think that's why he threw it so high, and it was short. It hit the front of the rim, and 9 times out of 10 that ball's gonna bounce
back out.
out. But for some reason it kind of went up, and I guess it went a little over and hit the other side of the rim, and then dropped in. I mean, it was like slow motion dropping into the net. It was that kind of shot. Like you never see that, and
Wow.
so, and it was over by 9 or so. Anyway, what else is in sports? What's going on? We have outdoors package.
We have our outdoors package, and we have sports softball playoffs. To be TBD, I guess. Deciding. I don't think there's any games tonight.
Oh, Aaron agrees it was an awesome game winner from Kauai, and Mike has joined us. Chris Herrera has joined us. How's everybody? But it was amazing. All right. Well, other than sports, we'll do the answer to our anything big. The Dow's down from China imposing tariffs.
700 points.
700 points.
The Chinese.
Guess we're not retiring.
Guess not.
China-
My 4-on cat on look.
China said June 1 they're going to start hitting 5,200 American products with tariffs starting June 1, between
Ouch.
5 and 25%
Ouch.
in retaliation.
Huh.
I was just reading about Doris Day.
Oh, Doris Day died. Yes, sorry.
They,
Sarah.
Yeah. From
She
what
was
movie?
90, whatever.
97.
97.
From what movie?
What movie was Kate Sarah? It was from.
I knew before. I didn't even read it here.
Pillow Talk.
No. Oh, but that was with Rock Hudson.
What's your that's our trivia question, our poll question for tomorrow. What's your favorite Doris Day movie?
I never saw that movie.
Pillow Talk would be one option.
The Man Who Knew Too Much.
The Man Who Knew Too Much was Kate Sarah.
Opposite Jimmy Stewart. And she sang that, and she won an Oscar, I think, for that song, too. It says Doris Day, the skinny blonde actress and singer whose frothy comedic roles opposite the likes of Rock Hudson and Cary Grant made her one of the Hollywood's biggest stars in the 1950s and 60s and a symbol of wholesome American womanhood.
Hey, so Tony,
Died
you're
Monday.
a movie buff. What the heck does frothy comedic talent?
I don't know
Frothy.
what frothy is.
Frothy. I don't know. It sounds like you're rabid.
When frothy, the foam on top of the coffee.
Just like overriding that.
Day
Let's
had
throw a whole
been,
bunch of adjectives in there.
Frothy.
Mrs.
Okay.
Day had been in excellent physical health for her age.
I think the
97.
adjective of the day today is bluster. Bluster. That's a good word.
We should ask John. I'm sure frothy's in his vocabulary toolbox.
And she was more frothy than full.
Oh, let's see. Day was a top box office draw and recording artist known for their comedies such as Pillow Talk,
Pillow
and
Talk.
That Touch of Mink,
That touch of me.
as well as songs like Whatever Will Be, Que Sera Sera from the Alfred Hitchcock film The Man Who Knew Too Much. Because it was the kid, remember, she's singing it really loud to get her kid to sing with her so they could find the kid in this big mansion.
I don't think I've
I'll
ever
go back
seen
and watch that again.
Any
It's
of
a
her
long
movies.
time.
Remember that?
In a long time.
I remember more her TV shows.
Yeah, maybe that's
she
what-
had the
what's-
Doris Day show was a big hit. Yeah.
What was that? Was that a
Just a sitcom.
Comedy.
Was it
sitcom.
like structured, or was it one of those early?
No, it wasn't a variety show. It was something. It was a
It
written.
was a comedy
It was a written
show.
show
Okay,
Yeah.
with a
that
laugh
was when
track.
she was older, though, right?
Yeah, it was
Little bit.
60s, late 60s,
Yeah.
a little bit older.
Kind
Yeah.
of a semi Mary Tyler Moore with kids.
She
and
wrote a
blah,
tell-all
blah, blah.
book in
Okay.
1976 called Doris Day, her own story, where she chronicled her money troubles and 3 failed marriages. I have the unfortunate reputation of being Miss Goody Two-Shoes, America's virgin, and all that, so I'm afraid it's going to shock some people for me to say this, but I staunchly believe no two people should get married until they have lived together, she wrote.
She was in favor of living together, huh? What? It's a
She
new
had
day.
She had a kid when she was 18.
I can't believe they called her the skinny blonde in today's.
Let's see, the American Humane Society of U.S. Created,
The skinny blonde.
honored her many
Frothy.
times, and she won the Medal of Freedom in 2004.
All right. Any other news we need to talk about other than Doris Day? Although we all love Doris Day, how can you not?
Paul McCartney, a friend of hers, called Day, quote, a true star in more ways than one.
Oh, that's good.
And you think
nice.
Doris Day and Paul McCartney, she was a blonde, he has a,
He was probably 20 years her junior, though.
maybe 30.
97?
Yeah.
How old was he?
Well,
He's
she was,
only in the
maybe she was a
70s,
cougar.
Maybe.
She dated Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Did she?
No, Burt Reynolds is probably about 90, though.
Burt Reynolds, well, he's now dust, but Burt Reynolds dated everyone.
He was in the
Yeah.
He's 80. He was 80ish when he died.
All right. Any other news? China, Doris Day. Anything big on the State Digest? Are you there yet? No. You got the National Digest?
Do I? No.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
Okay.
I got a phone call. I got
Okay.
But the answer to what superhero did British actor Benedict Cumberbatch play in 2016? It is. He played the titular character in Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. He's a neurosurgeon turned mystic who first appeared in Marvel comic books in '63. So Tom got this right. Nice. And
Finally got one right.
the former Washington Post journalist who founded Vox, it was Ezra Klein, which actually I've heard that name, but I would not have gotten that. Ezra Klein garnered national attention by managing the Washington Post policy blog, Wonk Blog, before going on to establish Vox.com. So, anybody go to Vox.com?
I read their stories every once in a while,
Yeah, I guess when it pops up here and
but I
there.
don't like go seek it out.
Yeah.
Maybe I will now. I know it's a little bit more legitimate than I thought.
All right. Well, it's better than Ezra. George Ezra. You know his music. Anyway, I like him. You don't know him? No. All right.
We had a music trivia last week. You should have answered.
I should have. What was it?
Something about an Australian pop star
Oh,
who's
yeah. Had 2 hits.
2 hits off his Neighborhood album,
Hmm.
Wild, and something else.
It's not
Is it a
ringing a bell.
younger guy or older?
Kylie Minogue. That's Australian. That's all I got.
Troy somebody.
I thought Adele was
T-R-O-Y-E.
Australian, but she's not.
No, she's
British.
English. No, that's a laptop. Adele.
I have one of those at home. Adele.
All right. Well, if you have any news tips or comments or want to talk more about Doris Day movies, Tony is your man. Give us a call here in the newsroom at 574-1222. Peace out.